race fans. Welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys Podcast, brought to you in part by Story Bleich Roofing. We've got you covered. Metal, slate, tile, asphalt, and shingle. We're locals you can trust. Right here in Pensacola, Florida. That's Story Bleich Roofing. Give us a call. I'm your host, Thomas Baddish, alongside two of the same Short Track guys in the studio as always. Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07 Sportsman here at Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. And Ted Baber, Ted Baber Video Productions. What's up, guys?
Greetings.
What's up?
Man, I'm telling you what, we got a big weekend coming up. We're going to get to it in just a little bit. And we had a big weekend just behind our window there, up in South Alabama Speedway, the Rattler and the Baby Rattler. We got the results from Ted coming up in just a second. The Easter Bunny 150 and the St. Patrick's Day 150 back in Hickory Motor Speedway. In the past series, got the finishes and results from that. We're going to cover that from last Wednesday. Got a big weekend coming up this weekend we're going to get to, obviously. But let's talk about the Rattler up there in the Op, man. Big news coming out of that racetrack.
It was a good time had by all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you imagine who won that one.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
But I'm going to tell you what, there was a young man that had a good weekend.
Yep.
Had a great weekend from Panama City.
Yeah. Several folks had a good weekend. Let's get to the Baby Rattler first. We'll start off with that one, with the results of that one. I know we got to hold the horses for just a little bit longer. Hold on, it's not going to take that long. Jake Finch was the absolute winner of that event, and said he didn't exactly walk off and go hide away from Stephen Nass, who came in second. He only had about a half-second lead when it was all over with. And then George Phillips, who we've talked about and we've done a little research on. Good Lord, this kid's going to be something in the future. Started racing when he was in kindergarten, for crying out loud.
Whoa.
Yeah, he'd been around a little bit, even though he's very young. And then fourth was Dylan Fetcho. Colin Allman rounded out the top five. Our very own Grant Thompson finished off in the sixth position. Jeremy Miller, seventh. Chase Pinsino, eighth. Zach Dixon, ninth. And Mike Litchfield was 10th. And believe it or not, at that bull ring, that was all the cars that were on the lead lap when the race was over.
No way.
Yep, afraid so. Then 11th was Gavin Graham. Then Landon Devon, Jim Wall, Christopher Tullis, Josh Hicks, Brian Reeves, Steve Dorer brought home a 17th place finish. And Jason Vale, very uncharacteristic for Michael Hine to wind up in 19th. But boy, I think the wheels came off of a whole bunch of cars from here on back, because they were very, very lost.
Well, there was a nasty wreck in that race with Tullis in the 62 car.
Yep, and that took him out early.
On a restart, and he climbed over that car and knocked the roof off of it, damaged the roll cage, and thank goodness that car was safe. But another driver ended up on his lid.
Yeah.
That was insane. That was the worst wreck of the weekend. I mean, I'm glad both drivers are okay, but that was nuts.
Holt Holder came in 21st. Michael Goddard, 22nd. Harrison Holder, 23rd, and Ryan Colby rounded out the field 100 laps down in 24th.
I would say he was probably sitting in the infield about that time.
More than likely.
But, yeah, that was good. It was a good race. Good to see Jake Finch get a win. I mean, that kid's finally starting to come into his own, and you understand that Bubba Pollard and them work together.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure he's helping him. But Jake did that in the 18 car of Ronnie Sanders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, and Phoenix is always on the hood of that car, even when, I can't think of his name, it drives the other 18 car, Hunter Robbins.
Hunter Robbins, yeah.
There's always been a Phoenix construction sticker on that car. So, right. I think they're working out a deal for Jake to drive for the Pro Late model, because, he ran the Alabama 200 also and had a good run in that race.
Well, it's two big wins for him this year. That's for sure.
That kid's coming on. I mean, he finished second the next day, so it was pretty. Well, no, it was the same day, because they moved the Rattlers. Normally run on Sunday, but they moved it back to Saturday, so both races were on the same day. I was planning on going up there Sunday, but I got shanghaied to haul a dirt car for a buddy of mine and didn't get to go, and they moved it back. So it was a good thing they did, because Sunday was just nasty.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously we know who won the Rattler. I mean, it's all over the countryside now. Our boy Bubba came out just on top. Got to wear the. I don't know if he actually wore the snake or not. I'm not.
They got close to him, but not close enough. You can tell by looking at him. Snake gives him the creeps. I don't blame him. I would too. Heck with a snake. The only good snake is a dead snake.
Well, we won't get into that. We're
snake free here in this studio.
And the aforementioned Jake Finch had a second place finish. Justin Mondike was the last person on the podium. And then Michael Hind had a good recovery, coming in fourth. Michael Goddard is in fifth. And then Colin Allman again doing double duty in sixth. And then Jet Nolan, Steve Dorer, Dawson Sutton, and Jeremy Doss rounded out the top 10, And then we have Gabe Summers, Casey Klein, Gavin Bichelle, Dave Farrington, Michael Atwell in the 15th spot. Then Timothy Watson, a local hero, in 16th. Billy Van Meter, and then the Big Daddy, Augie Grill, with an 18th place finish. Chase Lovelady, Austin Nason, Hudson Halder also doing double duty in the 21st spot. Then Dylan Bigley, Tony Elrod, John Kaufman, Hunter Wright, and believe it or not, Stephen Massey. The 26th spot did last.
Well, Bubba and Jake got together on a late restart. Bubba was talking about this last night, and they banged so hard it knocked the steering wheel out of Bubba's hand.
Ooh, that probably bent something.
I said the wheel was bent, so something underneath there was bent for him to be able to hold Jake Finch off. And Bubba said he kind of expected Jake to give him a shot, and he couldn't get close enough to him to do it. But I think without the bent car, Jake wasn't even in the same zip code. But just my opinion. But Jake Finch did an awesome job this weekend, and everybody knows who his daddy is James Finch. Mm-hmm. One of the coolest people you'll ever meet that has money, but you couldn't tell he had a nickel to his name if you ever met him because he doesn't act like it.
Well, that's much better. I prefer that over some of the people that I run into from time to time.
Yeah, but he's a great dude. But Bubba, he said it knocked the steering wheel out of his hand.
Well, he wound up with a 0.4 of a second lead by the end of the race. But that is a bull ring, and laps
not
run
much.
If
you've seen the finish, he was within a couple of car lengths. Yeah. If he could have got to his bumper, he might have used it, but he didn't, and that was pretty impressive. I mean, 2 in a row for Bubba. I mean, now there was no 91 car wasn't there, but Majeski, and he's tough. He's won like 5 Rattlers.
Yeah, he's got quite the record there. So
so it would have been maybe a little more interesting. But I mean, Bubba's on a tear this year. That's 3 major super late model wins in a row.
Yeah,
and going for number 4 this coming up Sunday. So just hang on to your hat because that man is on a mission this year.
It's going to be a big weekend starting Friday with the local classes. So we'll see how that.
Well, he got fitted into his Xfinity car this past week. He said last night on the show that he spent the last couple of weeks up there in North Carolina with the team and learning, people. And this is one that something that Thomas will understand and know. He likes the iRacing in the simulator. Bubba couldn't do the simulator. He said he got in it and it made him sick.
Yeah. Speaking of getting fitted for a race car, he also got fitted for a crown stock.
Yeah, he's going to be racing 3 divisions Saturday, too. The crown stock and the ARCA race and super late models on Sunday.
And somebody's looking forward to a nice payday.
Yeah, well, there's $1,000 to any lucky fan that puts in for it. But they're gonna pull a name if Bubba wins all 3 races.
Well, that's a tall order first, but we'll see.
Bubba put the money up.
Ooh.
He did it for a fan. He said he did it. He's the one that did it. So that's pretty neat that they're doing that. Yeah. And, good luck to him this weekend. Maybe he'll get it done. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see him in a crown stock because he was joking that he's going to have to use like 3 rolls of duct tape to find his shutdown point.
Yeah.
Because, he's going to be in 2 cars. He's going to be able to drive the thing way off in the corner. You can't do that when in crown stocks. You got to back it up. So he was joking it's going to take him a couple of rolls of duct tape to mark his spot. So
and different colors too.
Put a 1, 2, 3. You've gone too far.
Oh yeah, you'll find that real quick in that crown stock. It'll go whoop, whoop, come down on you in a hurry.
But that's a good deal. We're looking forward to that. So
yeah, and not only we got 2 other races, the other 2 besides the crown stock that he's going to also be involved in. So that should be an interesting weekend overall.
Well, ARCA Menards East Series. I've got the entry list here. Bubba Pollard, obviously, in the 1 car from Sonoya, Georgia. Yeah, one of our heroes there. There's William Sawalitz, Gio Ruggiero, and I think there may be Jake Finch, Hunter Wright, Dale Shearer is going to be we actually have a crew member here in the studio that's going to help him out this weekend.
That would be
coming all the way from Missouri. And I think those 3 or 4 drivers right there in that East Series going to be the competition. I know Jesse Love is not involved anymore, but William Sawallis, Gio Ruggiero, and Jake Finch is going to be 3 of those coming off of the Rattler weekend, and they race at Cordele and New Smyrna, so they're ready and already had laps around it. And of course, we know William Sawalich he's one of those up and coming drivers going to make that follow with Jesse Love and get into that series, and you'll see him on Sundays, I'm sure. But Bubba's got his work cut out for him. But I think it's going to be an interesting race, and maybe throw a little rag over those 4 right there. I don't know. It's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time. But that's just the ARCA race that's going to come up this weekend with Bubba participating.
Yeah. Yep. And the Higurani kid's going to be here running the super late model race. Oh. And guess who his crew chief is?
Well, I don't know.
None other than the Snowball Derby winning. Oh, God, I can't think of his name right now. It just went out the door. He won. He won. He's the one that got dumped by Chandler Smith. Derek Thorne.
Thorne, yeah.
Thorne's going to be his crew chief this weekend.
Wow. Well, that's a good one. He knows how to set up.
He came over here with Higurani, so that's going to be a good show. And I thought he was supposed to race in the ARCA race, but I'm not 100% sure if he is. Bubba's driving for James Finch, so that's it's going to be a good car because Jake run 3rd last year in the Phoenix Construction car. So that's a car that's got a shot at winning for sure.
Yeah, Venturini's got a couple drivers out there we mentioned. They're bringing some equipment, and I think the field is going to be a little bit bigger than it was or has been. But man, what a big weekend coming up. I can't wait.
Yep. It's even being called the big weekend.
Yeah, we just run over some of the ASA Stars National Tour entry list. We've mentioned Tony Elrod, Jace Hansen, Casey Klein, John Boland, Sean Hingorani, which Jim just mentioned, Austin Nason, Connor Okrezik, Michael Atwell, Jacob Gomes, Michael Goddard, Gio Rogero, Billy Van Meter, Colby Howard, Bubba Pollard, Dawson Sutton, Casey Roderick, Cole Butcher, Timothy Watson, Kyle Steckley, Caden Quapple, Albert Francis, Dustin Smith, and just a few more. But those are all star-studded drivers anyway. That's going to be a huge field, and who knows? Maybe Bubba can go 3 for 3 if the weather holds up. I heard somebody say through the grapevine, I think the weather's going to play a little factor on Friday night, maybe.
Yeah, it might screw us out of racing. It's supposed to be 70% chance of rain on Friday. I'm hoping maybe it'll back up to Thursday, or it can move on through real quickly and be gone by the afternoon. Either which way, I'm going to load up Thursday night, bring everything with me, and see what happens. If we don't get to race, I'll just unload everything in my house. And because Saturday morning, I got to be at the racetrack kind of early for that ARCA Menards deal, so we can get the car unloaded and put the skirts on it, put the tires on it, get it ready for practice.
I hope it doesn't rain. I want to see the entire weekend play out and just be everything we're expecting and so much more.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, Friday night, Outlaw, Sportsman, Pure Stock features, and then the ASA parking.
I think Sportsman and Pure Stock are going to actually run heat races on Friday night too. I think
they are.
Yeah.
Pure Stock Sportsman heats are at 8, and the Outlaw Sportsman Pure Stocks will follow that. ASA in the morning on Saturday with the ARCA hauler parking, and then ARCA qualifying will start at 5 o'clock. ASA final practice will be at 5:30, and then pre-race, and then on to the ARCA Menards Series East, Pensacola 150 at 7:30 on Saturday night. Sunday, registration open at 9. Grandstands and ticket office opens at 11. ASA qualifying at 12. Pre-race ceremonies at 2:30, and then Sunshine State 200 at 3 o'clock. So, yeah, busy for the crew, busy for the drivers, and then fans just kind of kick back and watch Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday.
It's going to be busy for everybody that works out there, too, because that is a lot of stuff to get taken care of.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought that up, too, because Tim and his staff out there are going to be, and they're used to this. That's what's so, they're going to be hard at work, but this is maybe an easier week than, because they're already working on the Derby. They started working when they got back after the holiday break. Yeah. That's a year-long process with all the details that go in and out of just the simple things you think about that are there that happen way before even November, December rolled around.
Well, the entries and the RV parking stuff starts on the very first day of the year.
Yeah, and
Right.
then sometime in March they open up the ticket sales.
Yeah.
You can get if you got reserved seating, you're allowed to get your seats.
Yeah, arranging for volunteer help. They got to have the facility set up to accommodate that many people in and out. Parking, got to get with the county for, the law enforcement to get all their cones and all the construction signs up. I mean, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that that go into that. So this being a short in and out weekend, I know it's a long weekend, but Tim and his staff have done such an unbelievable job since they took over back in the early 2000s.
Right.
So it's just something they're going to be used to. They'll get it done, and my hat's already off to them for the hard work they're going to be faced this weekend.
People just don't understand how much of a logistical nightmare that is. Not just all these super and pro lights that are coming in for practice and trying to eventually make the Derby and the Snowflake, but all the local classes that have to be
Packed in there like sardines.
Right.
Yep. Cram us all in the infield, get us all ready for our race, and then got to get us out, get us in, get us out, and then get the late models set up again. And yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation, but they handle it pretty well. I've been involved with it at least twice with my ex cleaning the bathrooms, and it goes relatively smoothly. You would think there'd be some hiccups, but not that many.
Well, the big thing is always weather. As long as the weather's good, you can pretty much pull it off reasonably quick. But if it gets in the way, we've had one on a Tuesday, no doubt, and we've had them at like 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that was that 100-lapper that finished at 5:30 in the morning. And Bubba Pollard ended up winning that one. I was there that night. I was working on a truck. Was sick all day, and I couldn't leave the infield because they wouldn't let you take your golf cart out. Remember, because they got half the truck qualifying in, then it rained.
Right.
They dried the track, got the truck qualified, half the late model in, it rained again.
Yeah.
Then they had to dry the track, get the late models to finish qualifying, then run the truck race, and then we weren't allowed to leave. And the truck race that we pulled in, they were like, everybody shut it down. The late model guys were already in their cars, fired up and ready to rock. Interesting.
Yep.
Easter Bunny. We got a double header coming up here.
Yeah, this was actually this past weekend up at Hickory. The Easter Bunny 150 and the St. Patrick's Day 150, the past doubleheader. Wow. We've seen some highlights of that go on already. Some controversy with Mike Hopkins and Cole Butcher. A little retaliation. We don't know if there's suspension or any fines coming out after that.
Need a few more, the Easter Bunny need to have a few more rabbit's feet and some more four-leaf clovers. It just didn't work out.
Right.
There was a butt whipping Easter basket that I'm pretty sure that Cole Butcher would have got had that man got to him.
Yep.
I think he was bringing that Easter Bunny basket to him, dropping it in his pits.
Yeah, they got to it, and it is what it is. People saw what they saw. Drivers always have explanations as to what was going on with their train of thought. So I don't know. It kind of reminds me of what happened in December. Believe it or not,
Yep.
It really does. It kind of reminds me of who did what and who thinks what, whatever.
There's one side, there's the other side, and then there's the truth.
Then there is what happened. So, but Ryan Moore inherited the win with Gabe Brown, Jimmy Renfrew, Trevor Sanborn, DJ Shaw finished top 5. Cole Butcher ended up running 10th, getting credited. Well, they say 18th was Mike Hopkins when they got into that little skirmish. But that was the first of 2 in the doubleheader, and they had to recalculate what they were doing and go back out for the 150 with the Easter Bunny. And familiar face that we have thrown around here, Derek Griffith.
Yep.
Wins his 3rd Easter Bunny 150.
I'd say he's got it figured out.
I think he's got it figured out. Max Cookson, Garrett Hall, Corey Hall, and Jimmy Renfrew again. Another top 5 there. That's 2 top 5s with him back-to-back in the 150s. So congratulations to Derek Griffith on your 3rd, and Ryan Moore inheriting the win with the St. Patrick's Day 150 up there at Hickory Motor Speedway. Has got a lot of history up there in the Carolinas.
Oh, yeah. Good track.
Yeah, it's one of them old places that they've been around forever. It was ran by Ned Jarrett way back when. It was dirt originally, and Ned Jarrett paved it, and it became a very, very lucrative racetrack for him and his family. He ran the place for many years.
We also saw a little bit of information coming from a tire test at the North Wilkesboro not too long ago.
Yeah.
About 3 drivers went out there and tried to see what they could figure out.
Oh, Butterbean was one of them.
Yep.
I like saying that. Brendan Butterbean McQueen.
Yeah, Brendan Queen, and we still got to see a little snippet of Ryan Preece in the modified laying down some laps, and then William Byron, Keselowski, and a couple cars are running. And we did see from some of the video with Ryan Preece around one of the, I think it was 1 and 2, but it looked like they had quite a bit of rubber laid down on that track from all that testing. But different compounds, so you know how that affects the car from one to the other because setup and then tires are using. And but I don't think I've seen a better looking racetrack come back to life than North Wilkesboro.
It looks a whole lot better than just a few years back. It was gone.
Yeah, well, hadn't been raced on forever. That's a cool racetrack. You go downhill down the front stretch and uphill down the back stretch.
That's got to feel strange.
They say you pick up a lot of speed. You got to watch yourself getting into one. You'll overdrive it because you're going downhill. Slightly, there's an elevation difference. It's a really unique place, but I mean, you know that track got a lot of history. A lot of big names have won on that track. There's been a lot of beating and banging on that racetrack. There's been a lot of controversy on that racetrack, and I'm glad to see it back up and running.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks beautiful. They got to give it to those people. They did a great job with that place.
It's on our dumpster. Is that big enough? I think we have
supersized dumpster, like semi-truck size dumpster.
A 20-yard dumpster.
20-yard dumpster. 40 yards. No, we need bigger. We need a double trailer dumpster to get.
Well, I think we've gotten to the point where we're having them made for us.
Yes, we're going to have to custom made dumpster.
Yeah.
Cut the bottom out of one and stack 2 of them on top of each other.
And probably more than that. And then you got to land it with a helicopter because we can no longer take it on a truck.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the next time you will see or hear from us with the Pro All-Star Series will be in Thompson, Connecticut, the Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park with the 50th Icebreaker. And then New Hampshire on the 13th of April, New Hampshire Motor Speedway in Loudon. I think that follows a weekend, or that it preludes the weekend, whether at New Hampshire. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure, but it sounds about right. I know the guys, the upper tiers run in New Hampshire, but anyway, that the past series, just these super late models, man, and the series that they have that run pretty much nationwide, more so on the East Coast than we do the West Coast. The drivers that we throw around every week,
right,
just seem to blow my mind every time we talk about them, and even the new kids, you know, like this George Phillips that was, is on his middle school track team, and he started, you say quarter midgets in kindergarten.
Kindergarten,
seriously,
yeah.
I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and he won the super late model or the late model, pro late model championship. One of those championships is New Smyrna at Speed Weeks, or actually the World Series. Speed Weeks was at Cordele, but. Yeah, you see, and we talked about William Sawalich.
Yeah.
When he came out, it's like, where'd this kid come from? Jesse Love, same thing. They just pop up, and they've been racing. But all of a sudden, they make it spotlight, and they start turning heads. William Sawalich, but Joe Gibbs running ARCA. Right. You know, he chased Jesse Love quite a bit last year, but now Jesse Love's not in the scene. I don't know. William Sawalich got it wide open. So
he may be setting the pace now.
All right. He's taking the reins. A new sheriff in town.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah, well, Jesse Love's already won a truck race and has come close to winning the Xfinity race.
Right. Yeah. See, there you go.
There's just tons of talent. I mean, you listen to somebody like Chase Elliott. I was listening to him on the Dale Jr. Download, and he was talking about how that driving a super late model actually helps him a little bit with his cup car, because supercars now, I didn't know this, I learned this myself, they're not allowed to have a gold track anymore. It has to be a spool.
Oh.
So it's a locked rear end. And he said the cup cars with that transaxle, they're locked. There's no slipper, limited slip in them. And he said when he drove it, when he drove the late model, he realized that was one of the problems he was having in his cup car, and it helped him adjust, believe it or not. So Chase says he's going to continue running short tracks. He loves doing it. I'm like, see, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's with Time and Majeski. I know they were all asking about, him running the Rattler, but he had commitments for Saturday's race at Bristol in the truck. So, I mean, with schedule allowing them to make those efforts, I like to see a lot of those guys come and run. Even the old timers, and like Matt Kenseth's going to run Slinger Nationals again, probably try to win it his 9th time. You put the cane up and have to, just use a step stool to get in the car to drive around, and you still got talent. But it's from kindergarten all the way up to seniors now, I guess, and anywhere in between with talent. So you just got to keep your eyes out for all these guys.
Well, the thing is, you got race car drivers that come from the Midwest look at the guys that come from the Midwest: Rusty Wallace, Dick Trickle, Bob Seneker, Junior Hanley. All these guys come from out in the Midwest, and then down south we had a lot of great short track drivers. Yeah. So there's plenty of short track talent. And that's one thing I love about this Stars series is it's going to bring the guys from up there, the guys from over here, and down to here, and we're going to get to see those guys race, the future stars of the deal. Now, somebody like Bubba, he's out there racing because he wants to, and he's going to do pretty good at it. Stephen Nasse the same way. They're never going to go anywhere. Bubba's going to try this race, and I pray he wins it. I would love to see him, nothing more than him win his first Xfinity start, to thumb his nose at all the haters.
Yeah. Because
people have been hating on this ever since they decided to do it. Oh, you give that old man a chance. 37 years old, old man, kiss my behind. But it's going to be interesting to see, and the Star Series is a great deal. ASA, I'm glad to see it back. The UARA, look what we had at the Rattler. Mm-hmm. Ricky Brooks brings a hell of a thing, and Bubba got his championship trophy when he was at the Rattler from winning the SRL championship last year. Right. He won the national title.
Yeah.
As well as all the races that he won last year, and the ass kicking, excuse my French, he's giving to everybody this year.
Yeah, he's out there. He's on a mission.
So,
he's out to prove something.
But good luck to all the competitors this weekend. Everybody involved in racing with me, racing with everybody else. Let's have some fun this weekend.
One of the places they will not be competing is at the Cars Tour at New River All-American because bad weather. Here we go again with the weather. Postponed that to April 13th, so they can be putting that back. Actually almost a month now if we look at it right. So I hate to hear that.
Well, there's supposed to be some nasty weather. We're at that time of year where there's tornadoes and everything like that, and up there especially, and they can't risk it.
Nope.
Get a bunch of people at a racetrack in trailers and stuff, and a tornado come through and see what happens. No, we can't do that.
I'd rather not.
No, me neither. By the time we went to the Rattler and it did that, and I'm like, no more of that mess.
Well, before we start winding down and kind of want to shift gears a little bit, and we'll get into more racing next week, but we have a video production artist here in the studio, and has been with us since we started. Next month, April 28th, will actually be our third year doing this on a pretty much a weekly basis. But we really haven't touched much on the production side of things, looking through the lens as races progress and what goes into the behind the scenes, getting material out for different programs that are going on. And I would just want to touch with Ted Baber Video Productions as to what does 2024 look like with you? What have you done up to this point, and what are you in progress of looking forward to here as we start getting deeper into the summer racing series, especially around the Southeast when it's obtainable for you?
I'm expecting to be busy because with a new camera and a new system of recording, a new file format, I'm going to be doing a lot of transmogrifying things to try to make it easier for me to edit. Basically, I'm still back in with the doing the highlights for the podcast on at the track, as well as hopefully we're going to start shifting gears and getting that done here too as well. I'm really looking forward to that, and then maybe we can start posting up some videos of our own and start working in that direction here and having an in-studio podcast and working in that direction.
Yeah, that's something that's been in the works. So we're actually just getting our brains functioning into that, putting it on paper, and then actually moving forward to physically getting it done and setting it up, getting it conducive to video style formats, whether electronically or just aesthetically. Here with the studio, it's we're gonna have to make some changes and move some things around, but I think we can. It's more than feasible to get it done, and we certainly been excited since I guess we really started talking about it at the Derby. Right. First of the year in 2024, we wanted to started moving to that direction of video production. So Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and hopefully we can put something up on the website too. So good luck. We're going to keep up with that with Ted Baber Video Productions. Yeah, you know how to get in touch with him.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen his work, then shame on you.
Yeah, we'll be making a decision about exactly where we're going to be posting it, because there are things that could be interfering with exactly where we're going to go with it. We'll get into that later.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, I've got a stack of Ted's videos. I even go back to VCR tapes. I have 2 races I was on in one of them that I won, and one of them that the first time Ted and I ever got together on video, I ended up bashing my way to the front of a B main, and he happened to catch the first car I dumped, and it was pretty funny. He stayed on me the rest of the race. They were watching me. Hell, the leaders. Let's watch what he's doing.
Mr. Excitement there.
And this egghead over here tearing stuff up, but yeah, and when I won in the vintage car, but I have all the DVDs except a few that Ted gave me, and most are my good races. And then I love every once in a while bust one out, stick it in, sit and watch yourself, and just grin ear to ear from the good old days.
Yep, and we got some coming too.
All right, well, that's Ted Baber Video Productions here, one of the short track guys. As we go into our 3rd year, we will have a big celebration. I'm sure a special edition episode around that time of our 3rd year starting. Actually starting 4th season, basically. But get in touch with Ted Baber and Ted Baber Video Productions, and we will have a complete update and re-episode next Wednesday of this big weekend coming up with the ASA Stars National Tour, the ARCA Series East 150, and the local Friday night if the weather holds up, and we'll catch up with Jim, see how that sportsman takes off on Friday, and maybe he can come and bring the trophy and sit it on the table.
It would be nice. We ain't had one in a while. It's about time we get one.
So until then, guys, it's always a pleasure. Talk short track racing on a weekly basis, and we'll catch up on the big stuff. I guess until next Wednesday, thanks listeners. Thank you, Story Bleich Roofing, for all your support. We do this for you guys. It's all motivation for us, for you to listen. And if you got any questions or comments, please get in touch with us at our Facebook page. We will gladly get back with you and hopefully improve. Yes. Until next week, guys, I guess it's a 1,
2, 3.
Let's go, Brandon. Good night, everybody.
Be strong, America.
Thanks for listening.